Tonight, chilling video taken by a 20-year-old woman who was murdered just moments later. Her 18-year-old boyfriend accused of pulling the trigger that ended her life.
Those angry, hate-filled words and despicable actions from her boyfriend, 18-year-old Kevin Dixon, police say. A young man who was supposed to love India, but this is anything but.
On November 18, 2019, India Elise Mackey turned 20 years old. To celebrate the milestone, she went out with her friends and family, and after a day of celebrations, India ended up with her boyfriend. A few hours later, India pulled out her phone to record her boyfriend cleaning his fingerprints off bullets as he threatened her. India recorded the act because she never thought he would actually look her right in the eye, see all the love in her eyes, and fire. She was wrong.
Last thing her family has of her is the video where she is pointing the camera at the man who's going to kill her.
20-year-old India Elise Mackey met 18-year-old Kevin Dixon as she entered her workplace. That day had started off as a bad day. The previous day had been bad. In fact, the whole week had not been kind to India, and she was at the end of her rope. She was not happy with work and desperately wanted a change in her life. Something new. Little did she know that she was about to meet someone who would change the course of her life. Forever. As she walked into work that day, she was a little tired, so she didn't pay attention to anything around her. But Kevin could not stop paying attention to her. He had come from a job interview, but he couldn't keep his eyes off the girl walking past him. After the interview, he asked the interviewer for India's number, and she gave it to him. That was the beginning of their relationship. India was swept off her feet by Kevin. He was a bright light in her otherwise dark world, and she cherished him. India had a very active online presence. Facebook was her outlet, and when she was sad and frustrated, she let her friends on Facebook know. When she was happy, she also went on Facebook. So when Kevin entered her life, she went on Facebook to gush about him. Let me just brag about my boyfriend real quick. I swear this boy came into my life at the right moment. I was at my lowest since I met him. Everything has gotten better. My family loves him and his family loves me. I can't wait to build with him. Kevin came into India's life at the time she needed him the most. She needed someone who would be her calm in the storm. Someone who would make her laugh and motivate her to keep fighting for her life. Kevin did all of that. When she had a long day at work, he would have food ready and waiting for her before she got back. He made big gestures to cheer her up on bad days and was kind, caring, and attentive to her needs. He was everything she prayed for. India fell in love with him almost immediately, and he loved her right back. India didn't just feel loved by Kevin, she felt loved by his family too, and she never hesitated to go on Facebook to share how lucky she was to have Kevin and his family in her life. So it was clear, India saw a future with Kevin. He wasn't just someone she was dating for the time being. And despite being very young, India already made up her mind that she was going to marry him. And when other men tried to come on to her online, she made sure to let them know she was already taken. Forever. Stay out my inbox with this foolishness. I have a boyfriend that I love dearly that I'm going to marry. And oh yeah, he crazy too. Anyone who knew India knew she loved Kevin dearly. It was clearly seen in her eyes, in the way her face broke into a smile when she talked about him, in how she couldn't wait to speak to him or hang out with him. As their relationship progressed, India asked Kevin to move in with her. She had gotten a small apartment, and she wanted very much to share it with Kevin. She couldn't wait to come home to him every day, not just on days he slept over. But the moment Kevin moved in, something changed. The effort he had put in to win her over seemed to disappear immediately. The love they so easily shared with each other became difficult to express. India became very frustrated. She still loved Kevin, but on many occasions she didn't like him and could barely stand him. Kevin was unemployed, and he didn't seem like he particularly wanted a job. So India had to work twice as hard to support them both, putting more strain on her and making her work harder at a job she hated. Kevin would just stay home every day playing video games with his friends. He wouldn't help out around the house and sometimes ignored India completely. Just as she had shared her love for him, India also went on Facebook to share her developing frustration with her boyfriend's behavior. "Somebody come get the game system out my house. Kevin been on it since yesterday and still on it." But that wasn't all. Other than Kevin's attitude towards work and laziness being frustrating, there were other women. Kevin didn't exactly cheat on her, but he acted in ways that were very disrespectful to India when it came to how he treated women who approached him. In August 2019, India went on Facebook to share her disdain for women who couldn't respect her relationship. "Since females can't respect my relationship, I'm not going to respect y'all or y'all relationship." A relationship that was previously an escape from the harsh reality of her world became the very thing that plunged her into those harsh realities. "I can't wait till I start back being happy. So much stuff been going on. I can't take it no more." At this point, the relationship between Kevin and India took a dark turn. The women, Kevin's laziness and complete dependence on her financially, her job, everything started to take a toll on India. Facebook became her only source of respite. "I honestly let the wrong people in my life," she posted at some point. She reposted a post that said, "My toxic trait is, I be caring about people more than they care about me. They can show me in many ways that they don't have the same heart as me, and I'll still be right by their side when they don't have nobody else to fall on." She also posted a quote that showed she still had hope, even in the face of all that she was going through. "The Lord will perfect that concern in me, and sooner or later it'll turn in my favor. It's turning around for me." India's struggles in her relationship led her into a roller coaster of always ending things off with Kevin and then taking him back. Whenever she would break up with him, she would go on Facebook to announce it. In one post, she said she's single and coming out of retirement. On August 5th, 2019, India made another post indicating that she had either broken things off with Kevin again or she was planning to break up with him. "When you got a good girl at home, cherish it before it's too late." India was not afraid to let people know her relationship was not perfect and they had problems, just like any other couple. "I said I wanted my man to rude to other females, but this man rude to me instead." But it was more than that for India. She had begun to feel unsafe with Kevin. He had become very aggressive, and it had taken India by complete surprise. The Kevin that she knew before was soft and sweet. This Kevin would get immensely angry, out of nowhere, and then calm down almost immediately. It was something she did not understand, and it messed with her head. And it made her feel even more unsafe that she could not predict when the flare-ups would happen. She just had to wait for it to happen and hope he'd calm down. So India broke up with him. Again, her heart broke because she truly loved him, but she didn't think he loved her the way she wanted to be loved, and she felt like she deserved a lot better. She reposted a post that showed how she felt about her relationship at that moment. The post said, "Yo, where the F do y'all be finding these males that treat you mad good? 'Cause I honestly need one." She also posted that she couldn't wait for someone who could make her happy to come into her life because she felt she was settling. She said, "I can't wait till somebody who genuinely makes me happy comes into my life. I deserve so much better, and I keep settling for less." But the problem was, even though India knew she deserved better, she kept going back to Kevin. This is probably because she thought Kevin could be better. She had memories of when he treated her like a queen, and she kept hoping and praying the old Kevin, the man she actually fell in love with, would come back. But he never did. Instead, Kevin continued to take advantage of her love for him and kept disrespecting her. It didn't matter that she kept ending the relationship. He knew all he had to do was apologize and promise to change, and she'd take him back. India also believed that Kevin was struggling with something that he wasn't telling her, but she didn't know how to help him. So she did what she knew how to do. She went on Facebook to express herself. She reposted a post that said, "I pray for my boyfriend every day. He go through things that he don't speak about." She felt like if she stayed with him and loved him enough, She could heal whatever was broken inside him, and he could be her old Kevin again. But little did she know that the last time she got back with him would set in motion a chilling course of events that will end her hopes and dreams. Forever. India. Elise Mackey was full of hope and dreams. Right from when she was little, she dreamed of creating a better life for herself, and she worked hard every day to make her dreams become her reality. She was born on November 18, 1999, in Saginaw, Michigan. India came from a very big family. She had 6 brothers and sisters and many more extended cousins, uncles, and aunts. India was a very loving person. She was described as having a lot of love to give and never being afraid to give it. She had a bubbly personality and was the kind of person you could spend all day with without getting bored. She was interesting, caring, and very fun. She was the light of the party and made everywhere she went fun.
She was very caring. She put anybody above herself.
As she grew up, India's light only shined brighter, her smile wider, her laugh more infectious, and her warmth comforting. In 2014, India started high school. She attended Saginaw High School, and she was very popular. She was loved by most people. Her personality endeared her to people, and her quick wit and humor made her very likable to teachers and students alike. After graduating from high school in 2017, she immediately got a job. She wanted to begin her life as soon as possible, and getting a job allowed her to be very independent. It also allowed her to start working towards her dreams of being very successful. At first, she did odd jobs in places like McDonald's, Speedway, and other places like that. Now, because she was very hardworking and resilient, India was able to get enough money to move into her own apartment and buy herself a car. Although her job provided for her basic needs, it wasn't enough. She wanted more for herself, a job she really loved and where she made enough money. India Mackey knew there was more out there, and she was determined to work hard enough to get it. But it was very hard for her. She worked long hours and wasn't paid nearly enough, so doubts began to creep in. And India began to doubt if she could make her dreams possible, or if she was just way in over her head. So even though she hadn't thought about it at first, India decided to go to college and get some kind of degree that would improve her job prospects. A business degree made a lot of sense to her because she already had experience working in businesses, and she would like to have her own someday. She took to Facebook to share those dreams with everyone. She said, thinking about going to college for business management. Her friends and family were very supportive of her plan, and she finally felt like she was back on track, ready to conquer the world. While she worked towards that, she got another job, and this one wasn't bad. Even though it involved a lot of traveling, which could be stressful, India felt like she could grow to love it. She got a job assessing inventory for Home Depot, but as India started the job, she realized it was more stressful than she thought. She had to be on the road every week traveling to different cities, and the worst part was the hotels she would stay in. They were bug or roach infested, or sometimes amenities in the hotel didn't work as they should. The hotels weren't the only thing that made India's job difficult. She was alone most of the time, and she was very lonely and missed her family all the time. And the fact that she didn't have friends in the cities that she often visited made it worse. She would sometimes spend 3 to 4 days alone, and she didn't like that. She was a people person and thrived from being around people. India often went on Facebook to vent about how lonely she was. Can I get some friends? I be bored as F. I gotta find me some friends, or maybe I should just move back to Pontiac where all my friends is at. But she was resilient, and she never let anything bring her down, so she continued to work hard. And one thing that made it all better was her birthday. India was very big on birthdays, and she would go all out each year, but this one was very special. She would be turning 20. India began to plan her 20th birthday months before. Only a few months after her 19th, she knew she wanted to do something big to celebrate the milestone. But she didn't know what exactly that was yet. Planning her birthday gave her a much-needed break from the hard parts of her life, like Kevin and her job, and allowed her to have her head in the clouds for a little bit, dreaming. Unfortunately, the dream of turning 20 would turn into a nightmare from which she would never wake.
You know, guys, we've all been doing this job for a very long time. We've seen a lot, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Law enforcement, they're frustrated, they're alarmed, and we all should be.
India Mackey wanted to go all out for her 20th birthday. Planning the big day had been an escape from all the negativity in her life. But sometimes it wouldn't be enough, and India would again take to Facebook to vent her frustration. "I'm so over everything from my birthday to the next thing. I don't want MFs to telling me happy birthday. My plans are canceled." But despite her frustrations, she was still very happy about her birthday and continued her planning. She wanted to get professional makeup done, get her hair done, and wear an amazing outfit for her birthday. On November 18th, 2019 came around, and India was excited. Despite her threats on Facebook, a lot of people wished her a happy birthday. Her friends and family gathered together to celebrate her, and she was out well into the night. A couple of hours before midnight, she decided to spend time with her boyfriend Kevin. She wanted to be with him for the last hours of her birthday. She and Kevin hang out together in her car parked outside their home. They talked and laughed and spent time together. India went on Snapchat to share some fond memories from the day, as well as a few videos from her time with Kevin. But then things went horribly wrong. For some reason, Kevin did not like that she was making Snapchat videos, and an argument soon ensued. But unbeknownst to India, that argument would turn deadly. As the argument became heated, Kevin began to do something very chilling.
The idea that he's pulling the bullet out, wiping his fingerprints off, showing it to her, and
Chills you to the bone, says Macomb County Prosecuting Attorney Eric Smith, and I agree.
Once Kevin began to load the bullets into the firearm, India pulled out her phone and began recording him.
the last thing her family has of her is the video where she is pointing the camera at the man who's going to kill her.
It's not clear why she chose to record that interaction. She might have thought he was joking and just recording for fun, or she might have felt really terrified and wanted to leave behind proof that would lead the authorities right to her killer.
Those angry, hate-filled words and despicable actions from her boyfriend, 18-year-old Kevin Dixon, police say, a young man who was supposed to love India, but this is anything but.
After Kevin Dixon pulled the trigger that ended his girlfriend's life, he did something that can only be described as bizarre.
After he shoots her, gets out of his car, pushes her over into the passenger seat, and takes off driving in the car.
In his bid to run away, Kevin started driving around the community erratically, almost colliding with several cars and pedestrians on the road. The authorities were called in.
East Point PD gets all these calls about a white van that's driving erratically over the road.
Unfortunately for Kevin, he drove right into the authorities. He was pulled over, and when his car was searched, they made the horrific discovery.
And they find her dead in the passenger seat.
India Mackey was found in the passenger seat. The officers who found her quickly called the ambulance, and she was rushed to the hospital. Sadly, she was pronounced dead a few minutes later.
Tonight, chilling video taken by a 20-year-old woman who was murdered just moments later. Her 18-year-old boyfriend accused of pulling the trigger that ended her life.
Kevin Dixon was placed under arrest and charged with murder, among other charges.
Dixon was arrested and is now facing first-degree murder, carrying a concealed weapon, and felony firearm charges.
He was arraigned in court, and because of his criminal history, the chilling nature of the crime, and the fact that he tried to run away with the body, Kevin Dixon was denied bail.
And there is a reason, once you see this cell phone video, why the judge said he's going to be staying here with no bond.
While the prosecutors put together a solid case against him, Kevin Dixon's story changed multiple times. When he was first interrogated after India's body was found, he claimed that India had taken her own life in front of him.
Dixon told Detroit PD he was going to get off there that man shot herself at his residence in Florida.
But later, he changed his story. He claimed he was hanging out with India when she asked to see how his firearm worked. He said he then removed it from his pocket and placed it on his lap facing toward India. Though he admitted that he and India argued before the incident, he maintained the whole thing was an accident. He told the authorities that he removed the clip from the firearm and touched the safety. And that's when it went off and hit India. According to him, he did not know there was still a bullet left in the chamber. But that wasn't all. He claimed that he pushed her to the passenger seat so he could drive her to get help. While his story worked for a short while, upon further investigation, investigators found this horrifying video in India's phone.
You think I'm playing, huh?
Okay.
You think I'm playing, huh? Hit you with this big 4-5 hollow tips, gonna eat your up.
After that chilling discovery, Kevin Dixon's story did not hold any weight. It was clear he had lied to the authorities about what actually happened to India. When he was found driving erratically, he was not on his way to any hospital around the area. He had not even tried to call 911. But while he didn't call to get India any help, the investigators found that he did call his mother to get her to hide the evidence.
He takes his girlfriend's phone, this poor woman that was shot, and calls his mother on the phone and says, "Mom, go to the house and get the gun."
Shockingly, Kevin's mother went to the house and did what Kevin had asked her. She was also arrested and charged.
Charged his mother as well. So we charged her with accessory after effect and tampering with evidence.
But the investigation did not end there. More details were revealed about how Kane really treated India. The investigators found out that Kevin had hurt India multiple times before, and that her family had pleaded with her to leave him.
I didn't like the young man. I got the wrong vibes from him. And I told her, I talked to her. I constantly talked to her. I was like, he's not the one for you, baby.
India's tragic death devastated her family.
You talked about killing my daughter like she was just nothing. And this was supposed to be somebody that you love, and she loved him.
Her family, though heartbroken by their loss, are using the opportunity to pass across an important message.
Just want everybody to be aware of domestic violence. If you see the signs, get out.
Her family members are using the same platform she loved so much, the platform where she shared so much of her thoughts, feelings, and life, to raise awareness so other people will not be victims of domestic violence. Domestic violence is not cool, it's not cute, it's not funny, and it is not to be tolerated. If you're going through that, please get out. I don't care how much they tell you they love you. They don't. That is not love. Catch the signs early on and leave while you can. No man should be controlling or possessive over you. All that insecure mess and being abused mentally, physically, or emotionally. Heck, even verbally. It is not okay. Get out of it. That mess is not a gang. These cowards will tear you down and make you feel like you don't have nobody in your corner, just so they can do and treat you like they want to. Never in a million years was it supposed to be my India Elise. Pay attention and be smart tomorrow isn't promised. India's mom also used Facebook to share a message, revealing that they had done everything they could to try and get India to leave Kevin, and now it was too late. Domestic violence is real. Even if it's not physical, you can mentally and emotionally. Every unexpected death is hard as F. It's just I think the family and I taking it so hard is because we knew and we all tried our hardest to get my baby out of that situation. She didn't deserve this. She was full of life and helped everyone that she could. I just want to hear her voice again. India's story hit her community hard. A lot of people were shattered that someone who was supposed to love her could do something like that to her. Other people who knew her wondered why someone as strong as India would stay in a relationship where she was being threatened and hurt, and more so, why didn't she leave when he whipped out the firearm and started threatening her? Why did she stay to record her death? One of India's friends took to Facebook to address some of the questions people had about the circumstances of her death. Everyone who's seen that video Elise Mackey recorded of that B-boy loading his gun up saying, "Why did she just record? Why didn't she run? She just sat there and recorded her death." Listen, she had no idea that was her last moments where she would have left. When I met India, she was a strong, confident, and vibrant woman. At only 18 years old, I would have never imagined she would fall into this when she was recording that. She probably was so used to being done like that at this point. She just thought it was another argument. Never in her mind did she think he was really about to shoot her. In these situations, your mind is so foggy, and sometimes these beat you down so bad and silently that you lose your right mindset. You lose yourself. You feel like there's no way out, or maybe you deserve it. My heart hurt so bad for India because she thought she was recording another argument, just another normal day for her. When, in reality, it was his last threat and her last breath. Before you question why she didn't leave, let's question, why is there so many B-made men out here because she should have never had to deal with that BS to begin with? Hey, what did you think about India's case? Let me know in the comment section. Please like and subscribe for more.